Welcome to the midnight tide, where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown, on a journey you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. A freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Welcome to the midnight tide, where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown, on a journey you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show.
What is up, all you freaks out there? This is Ryan.
And this is Rhonda.
I was having some trouble with my computer earlier, or just a second ago. The intro wouldn't play. Then it started playing middle of the intro. Like, what the heck? Then the intro song was getting all staticky on my speakers.
It's a full moon.
Oh, God. Hope the spirits don't mess with our show tonight. If they do, hope they make themselves known.
Right,
Like,
right.
Yank me out of the chair. Make it worthwhile. So, we could, market it or whatever and bring more people in to watch the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, doing great. For a Tuesday night.
It's always good night. Tuesday's always a good night. It is definitely.
Is.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did. It was a quiet weekend, but that was by my choice. So
Nothing wrong with relaxing and just chilling out.
Yeah.
We got Chris Chappell from East Tennessee. Good evening.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for
Of
joining.
course, we have our Canadian correspondent, Teresa
Teresa.
Chalmers. hanging out with us tonight in the chat. So hello to you guys, and thank you very much for coming on the show or watching us on National Pet Your Bird Day, which I know sounds dirty. And sometimes I know you like to pet your bird, but I think it actually means petting your bird.
I have a friend. Well, hello, Richard Johnson from Pensacola, Florida.
Gosh, we have Florida in the house.
We're getting a crew covered around here. So now we have a Florida correspondent, a Tennessee correspondent. Look at us.
A Canadian correspondent drinking her maple syrup. Watching hockey in the background. So National Pet Your Bird Day.
I guess if you have a bird that doesn't bite, you should pet your bird.
At least one time a year. And that is September 17th. Is the time to pet your bird. Oh, see, I'm always going.
I'm like, to you, it sounds so bad.
It does. God, I didn't want to go there with it, but you have to. It's right there, right in front of you, man. I'm sure there are a lot of people who pet their birds more than one time a year. I will say that. Just saying, you can take that how you want, but there.
Yep. But today it's allowed. Today it is celebrated if you want to pet your bird.
Yes. You don't be embarrassed about it either. Everyone does it. Everyone does it at some point. Everyone pets a bird at one point. And of course. Oh my God. Of course of course we all know it's National Table Shuffleboard Day as well. I don't even have to mention that.
Shuffleboard.
Table shuffleboard.
Used with floor shuffleboard.
No, this is the small one.
Okay.
Little small, it fits on a tabletop.
Yep.
Find it like in old arcades, maybe. There's a pool table on one side, and then you see this shuffleboard. You're like, what the heck is this? It's table shuffleboard. Sometimes there's sand on it.
Yep.
And I can't see Howie. Yeah. Me too. I can't remember last time I played table shuffleboard. It's probably like last time I went to a family reunion at Mountain Lake, which was like 30 years ago. But I did have a good time doing it. What's up, Shonda? Hey, Jess. Everybody, welcome to the show. Dad taught me how to play it. That's awesome, man. That is cool.
I don't know how to accurately play it. I don't know how you're supposed to play it.
I think when I was a kid, I just kind of
exactly.
I would made them up, just kind of fling them as hard as I could. What's up, Jeremy? Because when you're a kid, you just want to
yep,
rip it and rip it, you know.
Yep.
So everyone, all right, Howie, Jeremy, are you following me? Jess is stalking Jeremy right now. Howie, yes, I'll definitely play with you sometime. The game.
You need to get one set up in the cabin or something.
Yes. we'll have a shuffleboard tournament at the cabin. It'll be awesome. But right now we need to learn how to live our lives for the next week. Actually, until Sunday, because we're back on Sunday night.
Oh, are we back Sunday night?
We've got Jack the Ripper on Sunday night.
That's right, we do. Yeah. Awesome. All right, well, let me give it one more quick. I've been sitting here shuffling while we were waiting to come on, but let me give it one more roll and see what the cards say for us this week. All right, let's see. Off the top, scrying. So intuition. So I'm using still the Halloween Oracle deck. So when I look at this, I mean, I think we all don't tap into our own intuition as much as we should. So I think we need to be taking the time to meditate and trust those gut feelings when they come in. I mean, they're never wrong. They might not be what you want to hear, but they're never wrong. So those little inklings that come through, listen to them and see what you need to do with those, and then follow your intuition for the week.
So basically, trust yourself.
Trust yourself. Yourself knows.
Yes, it does. Follow, listen to your gut. Listen to your little voice inside your head.
Yeah.
It never steers you wrong.
No, it doesn't. Sometimes we don't want to hear what it's saying.
No, yeah. Sometimes it's like I don't really want to hear that right now. Just I'll do
Yeah,
my own thing. But
that's not what I want to hear. But usually those gut instincts are truly right. So now was the time to tap in, and sometimes just little things like, where should I go park? Which side of the mall should I head to? Just follow those little inklings, and sometimes you'll end up with better parking places and things like that. Little things.
or when the voice tells you to slow down, and as soon as you do, a minute later you drive past the cop.
See, my problem is I don't see them till I pass them, and then I'm like, oh shit, am I speeding?
Yeah, I'll do that too. Like it really matters. I slowed down when I saw you. No, that doesn't. I mean, it's like, come on. As it's National Pet Your Bird Day, they'll give you a warning. Where's your holiday spirit?
Yeah.
It's National
Yes, you're
Shuffleboard
right.
Day. Yeah.
You're right. That's a perfect card for a full moon. Tap into your intuition. See
The
what
cards,
it says you need to be doing.
Sometimes you need to sit still and breathe. Yeah, that's true.
I find I need to do that a lot anymore.
Man, it's hard to sit still for me, man. I was always going. So this is the time of the night when we learn something.
Do we get a dirty word or just a fun word?
But Kate, you people, this is even bad word. Okay, I am teaching you history here. Okay, I was wondering, what is the oldest rude word or is curse word? Not really a curse word, but the oldest word that's kind of like would be used as a rude word. Okay. The first recorded use of the word fart might date back to the 11th century when it popped up in the Antwerp, London glossaries, Pedaccio Fiorting, making it the oldest known rude word. So the oldest known rude word is fart.
I feel like fart has become more socially acceptable than it used to be.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like my mom was like, you do not say that.
You don't say that word.
You say tooted or something of that nature. And now it's like, it's nothing.
Yeah. So now you can take that to school, you kids. teacher. Hey, I know what the rude word. It's the oldest rude word. I was trying to think of find one like shit or something like that. I have to look up the history of that word next time. But fart is the oldest new rude word used in the 11th century.
Wow.
Which is what? It's not like 1200s or something, or what is
right?
it? 1200s.
Yeah.
Wow. So that they were hardcore back then. Fart is the strongest rude word they used back then. Wow. So there we go, guys.
I would have thought that was a much newer word. I would have thought like jam or shit was there.
I thought fart would be like something that was made up in like the 70s or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the 1270s.
The 1270s.
So I'm going to bring on Travis here from Lost Souls of East Tennessee. This team is so cool. It's got two names. All right. It's got Lost Souls of East Tennessee and Lost Souls in the Shadows. So it has to have two names. It's so awesome. So we're going to bring them on the show for the Paranormal Would You Rather, because it kind of ties into some of his stories he's going to tell us. Let's see if it works. Come on. Man, I tell you what. There it is. Okay. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
Hey, man. I've been having a little trouble getting you on there, but we're good to go.
You were busy petting your bird, weren't you?
He was.
Man, I tell you what. I had one hand free, other hand was petting the bird. Petting the bird. That's the new euphemism for these. That's what the kids say these days. I'm gonna go pet the bird. So for the Paranormal Would You Rather, okay? Would you rather find out your house was built on an ancient burial ground or a site of a historical massacre?
Ooh.
Ancient burial ground for me.
Ancient burial ground. I would, for me personally, I would say historical massacre, just because, you know, ancient burial ground could lead to a lot of deep stuff, like poltergeist, because it wasn't that the thing there. It was built on a Indian burial or some shit. You know, I don't have to deal with that stuff all the time, like stuff sucking me into television. Not really something I want to deal with. Just
Right.
I don't know why. I just don't feel like something I want to deal with every night. Just saying.
I'm gonna go with massacre too, because I don't want all them ancestors coming after me.
Yeah.
Of course, Chris would pick historical. Chris Chappell is like my brother from a completely different mother. Me and him have been on some missions together.
Oh man, we should have had him join us on the show. Talk about your missions and stuff. Talk about your investigations. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, we've done investigations all the way from Wisconsin down to Tennessee together.
Oh,
nice.
I bet Wisconsin has got some dark stuff, because you go in the middle of the country, the Midwest, and it is desolate and cold.
Well, I know where I lived in Broadhead at, there was 3 locations that were all 60 yards apart, and those were probably 3 of the most active locations I've ever been to in my life. And what's weird is they were shaped in a triangle. Now, back in the ancient times, they said that spirits used to hide in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird. The point of these 3 buildings, which was the old opera house, it was a brothel, it was the Knight of Pythias, I mean, all kinds of secret societies. That location was wild. I mean, we got hissed at in our ear. We had a paint can thrown at us. Yeah, that place is wild.
And where is this?
Broadhead, Wisconsin.
Interesting.
So I wonder, they're talking about the ancient like burial ground. So they were very spiritual back then.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm wondering if, since they were so spiritual and they were aware of the spirits more than, you know, maybe people of a historical massacre would have been, if that would cause the spirits to be more active at an ancient burial ground, as far as like, you know, because if it's a massacre, you made the spirits of the people who were massacred were there, but maybe there is a little bit more at an ancient burial ground because of their connection with the spiritual world. What do you guys think?
Right.
I would
Absolutely.
think that, yeah. And you know what makes me nervous? Because when you say ancient burial ground, how ancient are we talking? Because if you start thinking about the entities that we come across that aren't apparitions or spirits or were never human, things like elementals and things like that, they supposedly came from these ancient peoples that were doing things to protect their land and things like that. So that makes you go, what else would we be coming across that may not even be something that we're familiar with?
And plus, they're very spiritual. They had like probably had spirits protecting their burial grounds as well. They asked the spirits to protect the burial ground. So when we come in, like dig up and build a house there, the spirits who are supposed to be protecting the grounds are still going to be there, and they'll be like, "Oh well, I got some work to do now."
Absolutely.
And a lot of the stuff from the historical massacre would be residual, like Teresa said, would be a residual haunting, not really just kind of like when at Henricus Park, there was a massacre that took place in the early or middle of the 1600s, 1622, and we'll go there to investigate. And I was in the what they call the malady. It was the representation of the hospital. And we were listening to an SB7 box session, and I could hear outside the screaming of women and children being massacred outside. And I was just listening, and I looked to this girl, and she was like this, like the face was like, holy crap, because she was hearing it too. She walked outside. I waited like a minute or two. I walked outside after her. I'm like, did you hear it too? She's like, yes. And she's like, I had to leave. So, but that's just residual stuff. It wasn't like I went home and, looked at my face and ripped it off like Poltergeist did,
That's right.
My face is still here. So you, Travis, how to remind? We've talked before. I think
Yep.
last time you came on, there was a big storm happening
Yep.
out your way. Hey, Tina. But Rhonda wasn't here, so you can talk to her about how you got started in the paranormal.
I've been paranormal investigating between 15 and 20 years. Been doing all solo investigations. And I found myself in situations solo that I had no business being in at all. And in 2019, I was at a location by myself, an old steam train tunnel that it was built by slaves and immigrants. And when they died from mishandling of the dynamite, they buried them in the walls of the tunnel. I was in this tunnel and I heard an old steam train, like the whistle of it. And all of a sudden it was like the coldest wind that you've ever felt came blowing down that tunnel. And all of a sudden I got the feeling like you need to go or something's going to happen. I got out of that tunnel, got in my vehicle, and that's when I decided, you know what? No more solos for me. So that's when I started Lost Souls in the Shadows.
Wow. I can't imagine investigating by myself. I would, even with my team, when sometimes, they'll be like, hey, let's do solos. I'm like, nope. Nope.
I'm the first one to volunteer for a solo. Somebody go, anybody want to go alone? Yep, I'm already there.
Ugh.
I did a solo in you ever hear of Edinburgh Manor out in Monticello, Iowa?
Yes.
I did a solo out there in the boiler room. Never again. I remember going in there. It was like 7:30 at night. I walked in there and I told the rest of my team, I said, I only want to be in there for about an hour. I said, after that, I said, just come get me. 3.5 hours later, I was still in that room. I completely lost track of time, everything.
Did they forget about you or something?
They said they came and got me. And I said, y'all are full of shit. I said, nobody came and got me. I said, I've been here in this chair the whole time. And they said, we came and got you, and you said you were going to the bathroom, and you never came back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That Edinburgh Manor, that's in a whole nother ball field by itself when it comes to activity. I mean, it's like they came in one day and just decided to close. There are still people's clothes in the dresser. Their boots are still by the bed. There's still clothes in the dryer. There's still plates and seasonings in the kitchen in the place.
What was it before?
Pork farm.
Oh.
Yep.
That does make a different creepiness or eeriness about something that's left that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting there, being able to touch these people's clothes and shoes that have been there since the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, like Chernobyl. Yep.
Yeah. It sounds like they just like got up and like, okay, you're leaving. Bye. And then
it was wild. It was like they came in one day and decided they were closing the doors, moved everybody out, and just left all their stuff there.
Wow. Man, that makes you wonder what caused it to be like so sudden where you leave pieces of yourself behind.
Right.
Yeah,
and one of the craziest things that happened at that Edinburgh Manor, in back of the building, there's a house where if somebody gets tired, they can sleep, or you can go there and use the bathroom or cook food, make coffee and everything. Anyways, when we first got there, my wife and another team member were back in the house talking with the owner. Well, 2 weeks prior to that, a nationally known team was there that a lot of people don't like. You probably know who I'm talking about. But
good idea.
They were there 2 weeks ago, and my wife asked, my wife had her purse sitting on the arm of like a cheap ottoman bed type couch, like a pull out. Her purse just sitting there, and she says to the owner, says, "Have you noticed any type of activity change since so and so was here?" My wife's purse flew across the room. My wife says, "No, I'm stepping out of here."
Man, that's interesting how, you know, people can affect the activity in a location like that.
Yeah, because that individual is banned from Edinburgh Manor for life.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they banned. Yeah, I mean, provoking spirits, you know, and that's one thing I'll never do is provoke a spirit.
No.
And she said it took them about a week and a half, 2 weeks to get that building calmed down after they left. Them spirits were so riled up.
Now, have you investigated there more than one time, or is that?
I've been to Edinburgh Manor twice.
Is it always extremely active?
Yeah. That place never ceases to amaze anybody. If you know somebody that's a skeptic that don't believe in it, take them to Edinburgh Manor overnight. By the morning, they're going to be a full-fledged believer, guaranteed.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Put that on my list.
Yeah.
It is an amazing location out there. I'll tell you that much. But just don't go during the winter, because it is cold out there in the winter. Our first trip out there was like 6 inches of snow on the ground. It was like 10 degrees, 20 below zero with the wind chill factor, no heat in the building.
Yeah, I would
know about
agree.
St. Albans Sanatorium.
I love St. Albans.
Yeah, that place is fun. I enjoy St. Albans.
Yeah, that's one place I haven't been to yet. I haven't been to St. I want to check out St. Albans, and I want to go back to Tala again.
Tell you what, we did we were at the cabin last week, and we did an Estes method. One of the girls, our co-host Sarah, was in one room, Melissa's room, and another girl, our friend Jess, was in the parents' room, and they were basically finishing each other's sentences. They were like, one would say Dennis, the other person would say S-Lock. It was so weird the way they were communicating with each other without even knowing what they were saying.
Right.
And it was hard to like believe all the stuff that they were actually doing and how spirit could talk through them like that.
Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, I've been doing this long enough where I've came to the conclusion nothing surprises me anymore.
No, I would agree with that.
Expect the unexpected, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's for sure. So you live in Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
And you live in a house.
Yes, sir.
That has got some activity in it.
Absolutely.
I am not mistaken. How did that all start for you?
Well, when we moved in here, there was just something a little off, and I couldn't put my finger on it. You know, it wasn't nothing malevolent or nothing like that. It was just, you could sense that there was something else in the house besides you. So I started breaking out my equipment and stuff one day, and we've been here in a year and a half. I mean, we've became on a first name basis with the spirits in my house. I mean, we have Stanley, who's a Civil War soldier. Then we have two children, Stella and Norman. Yeah, I mean,
children. How old do you think they are?
What is it? Stella's 9 and Norman, I think, is 13. Yeah, but I mean, you seen that video I sent you of the REM pod? I mean, yeah. Rhonda, I mean, it was the middle of the day. It was like 1:30 in the afternoon, and they were having a heyday with my REM pod.
That's cool. That's cool. I love that because people always lean towards the nighttime, and I know that's better for, you know, noise and things like that. But in a truly haunted location, they'll get you anytime they can.
Yeah, if a place is haunted, it's haunted. It ain't gonna matter if it's midnight or if it's 8 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. If it's haunted, it's haunted. I mean, I've got some of my best evidence during a daytime investigation.
Yeah, it's not like ghosts clock in at like 6
No.
o'clock p.m. I'm trying to go to work. I'm start haunting people.
Right.
So that's cool with having ghosts in your house, because that gives you opportune time to like really get to try different things with them and different methods and things like that. Have you been able to get much of their backstory, being able to be there with them and work, with them with your equipment and stuff for a while now?
It's been about a year I've been dealing with them. It took me quite a while to get their names out of them. Took me quite a while.
They don't like to look up names, do they?
No, it took them building trust with me, knowing I wasn't there to remove them. I wasn't there to disrespect them. I was here to live together in peace. And I think once they realized that, they're like, oh, this guy ain't so bad.
So are you of the belief too that not all spirits want to be crossed over?
Yes.
I do too.
Because I believe
have a choice to be where they want to be, or places that made them happy, and if that's where they choose to reside, that's where they're choosing to hang out.
Because I believe if spirits die tragically, and they're here and they don't want to cross over, that's because their job, they never got to finish it.
Good point.
We've asked spirits before an investigation straight out, do you want to cross over? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's a direct no.
Sometimes just want to hang out,
Yeah.
Or they don't want to go because they're afraid of what they might, have to face.
Absolutely. Scared of it.
Unknown, it's like we don't know for sure what's going to happen after you pass away. So
I don't know, and I ain't gonna care because I ain't gonna remember none of it. So.
That's true. So what's the best piece of evidence you've captured?
That would probably be the top 3 is that EVP that I sent you.
Well, so we're talking about that EVP you sent me. Let's see if I can find it here.
Give everybody a little backstory on it. So what you're first going to hear is me and our team psychic medium at the time talking. We're talking back and forth about a piece of equipment, and then it'll go quiet and you will hear it. It'll send chills up your spine.
Let's see here. I listened to it, and it's pretty amazing once you hear it. Hopefully this works.
All the words too, so you don't have to write them down.
That's me and her talking.
It'll have like a safe word on it.
Rhonda.
Yeah, she heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally,
it's like a live person sitting there right with you guys.
Yeah.
That's wild.
What do you think it says?
I've listened to it on headphones and put it through programs, and I've had a lot of other people listen to it. Everybody hears something different, but a majority of the people hear a little girl saying, "Release me."
See, I heard mercy, which,
right.
It's all up to interpretation, but I was listening to it, with my, up to my ear on my phone. What'd you hear, Rhonda?
I couldn't tell. I could distinctly hear the little girl's voice. I couldn't tell if she was saying something or singing, or she kind of said it kind of sing-songy. I would like to have like earbuds or something. I always like to have something like that when I'm listening. With that one, to hear it that clearly, without a doubt, there was something there,
Yeah, because it was caught on my wife's phone. We were down in the basement of a location up in Wisconsin, and my wife had her phone in her pocket, Okay, now hold on. This is going to sound wild, but my wife is right here next to me. She will tell you her phone was in her pocket in her jacket. Her jacket was upstairs on one of the bar stools. We got home. Her phone alerted her that she had a new voice recording. And we listened to it, and that's what we caught.
What?
Tiff, am I lying?
That is wild.
That is wow.
Yep.
Oh wow.
That building, that's called Phibbs North up in Wisconsin. It's a supper club. I was an executive chef there, and Chris has been with me to that location. That location, there's some weird things going on there. Like 20 years ago, well, it used to be the temple or the meeting place for the Knights of Pythias upstairs. Well, they had a closet there that held all their robes and their artifacts and stuff in it. Well, these two brothers bought the building and they were going to renovate it, try to get it back to its glory days. Well, there was a false bottom in a closet. They go to tear out the false bottom. There's a human skeleton in the bottom. My mom did the article for the newspaper on it.
Don't they use that kind of stuff?
Wow.
I thought that they use kind of real skeletons as part of
Yep.
their like
That's
ceremonies.
true.
Yep, because the skeleton, because they called the funeral home, they came and got the skeleton. 3 days later, the skeleton ended up disappearing. Nobody knows where it went.
Chris is over here shaking hands with the ghosts on the SLS camera at Phibbs.
He did it, Phibbs. He did.
Nice. Good one. Nice job, Chris.
Yeah, Chris will even agree that was a wild night that night.
That is, again, it's ceremony, spiritual
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I just had something fall off my table. Right? It's like
Nobody's
another-
in there because I saw Ange go down the hall.
Yeah, I'm by myself.
Your bird did it.
Yeah. I wasn't petting it enough. So my bird I don't have knocked over. My bird did it. Yeah. Yeah.
Your pet bird.
My
Your
pet
pet
bird.
bird. What?
This is not choke your bird day, just saying.
No, that's true. I was saying because if it was that, I'm on the wrong podcast.
That's a whole different podcast. That's
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
Yeah.
that's a whole other day.
Yeah, a whole other week.
That's right. Shook your bird week. Oh my jeez. So
Yeah, but
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, we got some crazy things going on down here. October 25th, I have a paranormal presentation at a big library down here in East Tennessee. And then after that, I'm surprising everybody. We're going on a paranormal investigation to probably my favorite cemetery I've ever been to in my life. I actually got a tattoo of it on me. That's how much I like it.
Where?
It's called Branner Cemetery in Jefferson City, Tennessee. It's actually a cemetery built on a Civil War battlefield.
Mhm.
It's a potter's field. It's just limestone headstones all over. It's just, we've seen things and heard things out there that made us question our own sanity. You know, and it's only maybe 40 yards by 40 yards, and it's estimated to be somewhere over 315 bodies buried there.
Oh wow, so it's not very large.
No, it's not. It's not big at all. But there's everything from Civil War soldiers there. There's headstones there from the Revolutionary War and the American Indian War.
Wow, that's a lot of history out there.
Yeah. And
this
there's
is-
also a family plot there. It's called Branner Cemetery. It's Branner. Well, they also have a family plot there that's all fenced in and everything. And yeah, it's known as the Battle of Mossy Creek is where the cemetery is located. But I mean,
is that Civil War or
Civil War, yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, but I've experienced things down here that I've never experienced back in Wisconsin investigating. Like there's another cemetery. It's called Ford Cemetery. It's on an island on this lake. It's up on top of an island. We kayaked to it. Kayak said, "Oh, it's only 20 minutes." 2.5 hours later, we're still rowing across the lake to get to the cemetery. We
Damn
finally
kayak.
get there, tromping up through the woods, and there's 11 different holes. They're the perfect size of a coffin, all in a line. The ground is all caved in, but it's like the perfect size for a pine box to decompose in. And that's
Yeah.
Ford Cemetery.
Now, what is that? Who's supposedly buried there? Or what is
Civil
it?
War soldiers.
Okay.
I mean, it's just full of Civil War cemeteries down here. It's just wild. I mean, it's like every cemetery you go to, there's at least 10 headstones from the Civil War.
Yeah, a lot of people don't kind of sleep on Tennessee as far as Civil War, but there's a lot of battles out there
Oh yeah.
that took place. And a lot of bloody battles that took place out there.
Yeah, my buddy Chris that's watching his where he lives over south of Knoxville, Tennessee. His land is a battleground. I mean, we've been out there investigating, and he has some wild things happen at his place, in his house, out in the garage, in the middle of the yard.
And we experienced the same thing out here in Mechanicsville, like because there's Cold Harbors out here, and Gaines Mill battlefields out here as well. And there are people who they won't tell you about it for sure, but they have experience,
Right.
experiences in their houses because of people building houses and subdivisions and stuff on land that used to be part of the Civil War battlefield.
Yep.
What's up, John?
John.
John Sullivan's in the house.
I'm getting lists of all kinds of cool places, John.
You gotta take a road trip to
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, the only thing bad about down here is actually trying to get into a location and into a building because of being in the Bible Belt. They're all, oh, no, we don't believe in ghosts and everything. Like there's it's called Glenmore Manor. It's called down here. It's an old Civil War mansion that's still standing. Well, the Historical Society owns it now. So I reached out to them wanting to know if I could come do a paranormal investigation. If it is, truly haunted, I said, you guys could, rent this place out on weekends, get $500-600 a night. Well, we don't believe in none of that stuff. Okay, well, if you guys want to sleep on money to try to keep these buildings up and going, that's totally on you.
Yeah, we get that here in Virginia as well.
And you don't have to believe in it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you believe in money?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? That's what's gonna be. You come, you do an investigation. You're like, oh, this place is really cool. I'm going to come back here during the day. I'll bring my family back here. We'll support it.
Yep.
You have a customer for life because they want to keep coming back.
Yep.
But people just don't want to see the forest through the trees. They just kind of like don't get past their beliefs. But
Yeah, but I have noticed down here, there's a lot more people down here that believe in the paranormal, but they're scared to talk about it because people think they're crazy. And I've told them, ain't nothing you're going to say it's going to surprise me.
That's right.
Ain't nothing you can say.
I think it's getting easier for people to come out and express themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Through social media and stuff like that. Or before, if you had a problem like a ghost, all you could do is maybe call the church.
Right.
And then you're like, well, I'm not gonna call them because they'll think I'm crazy, or they'll think I have a demon in the house or something like that, or you're afraid they might call the hospital. You're like, I'm gonna bring this doctor with me just in case, and then take me away to the loony bin or whatever,
I got a question for you, Rhonda. Have you ever touched a piece, just an object, and just felt like you're getting shocked, almost like static electricity?
Yes.
Well, that happened to me. I was at a cemetery down here. It's called Bethesda Cemetery. It was one of the first original churches in the area, got turned over to a Civil War field hospital. Well, there's a cannonball still stuck in the wall that you can touch.
Ooh.
And
is that what you got the charge off of?
And I touched it, and it was like getting hit by an electric fence. I was like, wow, that was crazy.
Wow.
But it's always locked up. Well, a good friend of mine I made friends with down here, he's a sheriff. He's been a sheriff down here for 27 years. So he knows anybody and everybody to get in anywhere. So he called me one day. He's like, hey, you want to get into the church at Bethesda? I said, let me think about it. Yes. He's like, it'll be open at 5:00 tonight. I said, I'm there.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
but
especially in a church, that for them to let you in a church, that's probably one of the they really don't want to let you in.
I mean, the old pews are still in the building and everything. I mean, the old pulpit is still there. It's wild in there.
It's when you go in there, you're touching history. You're a part of the history.
Yeah.
Just by walking in the door. And you can think about the people who sat, all those people who sat on those pews, and all the energy that is in the church, like their weddings, happiness, and then funerals, sadness, and just all the spiritual energy, all coming into one central location.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because when you walk in there, it's like a whirlwind of energy in that church. It's like you can feel it, but it's just swirling all around you, all over the place. But nothing feels like it wants to harm you. What it feels like is you got 1,000 people running up on you at the same time, trying to talk to you at the same time, is what it feels like.
I can imagine that. We did a location, I can't say what, but it was a cemetery, and it had a little chapel in the cemetery, and we were in there, and that was a whole different feeling, because it felt very much at some point, and I really didn't feel like it was part of a church service or anything, but it felt like it was a meeting hall of some sort, and it really felt like it was the whole brimstone and fire, like where they were just preaching the like damnation and you're going to be cursed, and it just wasn't that warm, like that good energy. It felt like somebody was, preaching from a negative place, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. I know what you're talking about.
I wonder if that's just the day you guys went out there, or if it's like that all the time.
That friend of mine that's a Hamlin County sheriff, he says every time he had to go out there on patrol, he said he'd get out of his vehicle and he would get close to the church, and he said he'd get that feeling in his stomach like, nope, not supposed to be here. And he'd leave. He's like, he never went in there when he was supposed to. Never. He's like, I just couldn't do it. He's like, there's something telling me that I don't belong there.
Wow.
Yeah, if you're going someplace and you're not looking for a ghost, it's different when you go someplace and you want to see a ghost. You can be the bravest person in the world, but if something just gets thrown at you and you're not expecting it, you're gonna notice it for sure. Teresa says sometimes locations hold more energy depending on the materials it is made of. That is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some materials definitely cord stuff better than others.
That is 100% correct.
A lot of things get through the years. I've wondered, because we do a lot of investigations at the cabin, if some of the stuff we're picking up on is residual from our investigation, since we're out there all the time. How many times do you have to do something in a house before it becomes part of the house?
Right.
Because there's a guy, the old story of the old man who dies in a house, and then he used to sit in a chair and watch TV every night. And then someone else moves in. He goes to bed, wakes up, the TV's on because the old man was in there, turned the TV on. How many times did he have to turn the TV on for it to become part of the environment? Yeah.
Yep.
Or does it take longer if it's a brick house or a wood house, or it's just interesting questions.
I mean, there's so many different variables when it goes into the paranormal. And I sit back and I see all these new pieces of equipment being built by all these guys and everything. I'm like, Jesus, I said, what's going to happen next week? You're going to tell the ghost, well, if you want to say yes, you got to hit A, then B, then you got to do the right trigger, then the left toggle, then hit X, Y. I mean, it takes them long enough to figure out the stuff we have now.
Right.
I mean, I don't believe in all that fancy stuff. I mean, I have my REM pod, my EMF, my SLS camera, but my go-to are my dowsing rods. Those are my go-to.
My hands are too shaky for dowsing rods. Like, oh my God.
There's another piece of equipment though. When you've got a skeptic with you, you hand them the dowsing rods, get them going with them. And when they are like, I'm not moving it, and they're moving, you're like, okay, there you go.
Yeah. Do you believe now?
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me personally, I think it's got to be EVPs, because if I'm in a room and I know I'm the only one in there, or if I'm with somebody else or like a group and they know nobody's talking or said anything, and you get a voice clear as day, that can't be disputed.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I'd
like
love to
EVPs
look,
too.
and look on people's faces who were skeptics before, but then they hear an EVP and they know that it's real, and kind of the light bulb kind of goes off. They're like, oh crap, this is actually real. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's real.
We don't sit here and talk to ourselves for fun.
Right. I mean, I do that on a daily, but
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah.
Same.
Like,
yeah, we're trying the book. We're looking at if we get it. Ron and Ryan, you're both invited. We're trying to book Sweet Spring Sanatorium one night, and then the next night, Old Hospital on College Hill.
Sweet Springs is one of my favorite locations.
I've never been there yet. Everybody says you need to go.
Oh, you're gonna love it. I love it. It's a good one.
But see, and what's crazy, when I book it, it's going to be just me.
And in the whole Sweet Springs.
Yep. Yeah, because
territory to cover. No.
Yeah, well, see, the team I had, I kind of dismantled it. The co-founder, him and my tech manager thought they were going to be slick and start using some of my equipment and starting their own team. Well, I found out about it. They were trying to steal some of my equipment and everything, and I found out, said, nope, you guys are done. I dismantled the whole team, and it's just me and my wife now.
Oh, wow.
So is that why it's Lost Souls of East Tennessee now?
Yep.
It's not Lost Souls.
Well, we still have Lost Souls in the Shadows. My sister and her brother are doing that part up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
They're up there running that. I moved down here, and I'm like, I kind of want to keep it the same, but I kind of want it different. So I'm like, Lost Souls of East Tennessee. And there's a lot of them down here.
Yeah.
Living and not living.
What is a big location in Tennessee that you'd like to investigate that you haven't been able to get out to yet?
Ooh, you put me on the spot now, Mr. Ryan.
Hard-hitting questions here in the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. So,
everybody, it'd have to be Wheatland Plantation down in Sevierville. Definitely. A lot of people. I've always been drawn to plantations for some reason. I don't know why. Like, my bucket list location that I have to go to before I go is Myrtles. It's something about plantations that just draw me. I don't know if it's the energy or what it is, but when I see a plantation, like if we're driving down the road and I see one, I got to pull into the driveway just to get out and just visualize it all.
Reminds me of the question we had last week, Rhonda. Would you
Yeah.
rather investigate a prison or historic plantation? I think I know what Travis would pick.
Yeah.
Plantation, hands down.
Yeah,
Me too. Me too.
yeah. I think we were in agreement with that. We both picked plantation. There is something about the plantation life, the history of it, because it's a family house. It's of course you got the slaves and stuff too, which is terrible, but it's just the family who lived there. It's just so much history in a house, and just I don't know. It's just
Ooh,
I think it's a great place to investigate.
it is. Have either of you ever been to a true abandoned ghost town?
I have not.
I have not.
Come on down here to East Tennessee and I'll take you to one. There's houses all over. There's not a light on in none of them houses. None. There's no street
Really?
lights, no nothing. It's called Elkmont or Elkmont Ghost Town in the Smoky Mountains. There's videos all over YouTube on it. It's crazy there.
And you can investigate there?
Yeah, I mean, I just talked to a couple here 2 weeks ago. They're there at 3 o'clock in the morning, walking around and driving around.
Oh wow.
But
Now,
the
any idea what, like, any backstory on it? Like what happened?
I have no idea. It's like everything's a secret with that place. It's like
Ooh.
you hear, you'll hear a story from this person, and then you'll ask somebody else, and they'll give you a completely different story. It's like, what the hell were they trying to hide here?
Right.
Yeah, but it's wild. Yeah, Google it. You will. That place is wild.
Neat.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And then there's another little school that ain't too far from it. It's called Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse up in the Smoky Mountains, built 1828, still standing.
Oh wow. See, that just gives me chill bumps. That just sounds
Teresa, government cover up.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think no one will ever know because it's been abandoned for years and years and years, but the houses are still standing.
I wonder if it's like a coal mining town or something, or like mining. Is it? Because usually when the stuff runs out, people leave. So maybe that's what was going on out there.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, the videos you watch of people just driving through there, it's like when you're watching the video, it's like you're even waiting for something to come out from around one of the trees or come out from the side of the house or something. It's different.
yeah, and like even if it's that, like why were the properties never sold? Like why
Yeah.
were they never?
Yeah, it's just a ghost town. There's nothing there anymore except houses.
Like you could drive around here and you'll see like a house in the middle of a field, like a big, like a regular size house, middle of a field that's been abandoned, and you're like, well, it's a house. People want a place to live. Why didn't they, sell it? Or, what's the story behind the house? Why is it abandoned?
Right.
And I always want to stop and look around or go inside. I never do. I'm too
No, but
chicken.
you want to. I want
But
to too.
I do want to.
And I'm
Yeah.
always the same. I'm like, why did they let this house just rot?
Then I watch videos of people going in there and like someone's there, or you see a face in the window and it freaks you out just watching it on TV. Like, nope, thank you. I think I'll stay away from that.
Yeah, but there's just, I've just experienced things down here in East Tennessee that I've never experienced in, between 15 and 20 years paranormal investigating. It's like the spirits down here are on a whole nother level compared to them back home. I mean, it's like here, it's like at this cemetery, that Branner, it's like they have no problem at all letting you know they're there. I mean, we've heard voices, we've heard cannon shots out there. We've caught on our full spectrum camera, we caught what looks like a misty, full-bodied apparition walking across the cemetery. Got a still picture of it.
Interesting. It's got to be that history too with the battles and stuff. Because I mean, a lot of cemeteries are quiet. Like when you investigate them, you don't get a whole lot, but it's got to
Not
be
here.
history there. So that's interesting to me. So I'd
Not
like to,
here. This
Carmen asked, where is the place again? What was the name of the name of the town where the abandoned town is located?
Oh, I believe it's Elkmont Ghost Town or Elkmont Ghost Town in the Smoky Mountains.
Tennessee. And what's that? What's the town in Pennsylvania that's got the fires burning?
oh,
Silent Hill was based off of. What is that name?
I've never heard of that.
There was a fire that happened under the ground, and it's still burning to this day.
Interesting. I'd never heard about that.
Sounds like some Silent Hill type stuff.
Yeah, it's based on Centralia. Thank you, Angela. Centralia, yeah, but Silent Hill is based on that like area.
Can you even go in that town or no?
No, I don't know. I mean, there are people who take video. I think you could sneak in. Maybe I don't know if. I don't know. Not that I recommend you sneaking into a town, but I think that's.
I don't have bail money, so it's a big negatory.
It's not telling you. We're not telling you to do it. This isn't listen to me. Just saying. Don't do it.
Yeah, just don't.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can. Angela says yes.
Oh,
but I'll check with authorities first.
yeah, absolutely.
What we say. Well, I mean,
Don't
Angela
listen to
said
us.
yes.
You're liable to get in trouble.
If the cops come after you, just tell them Angela said yes, and they're like, oh, okay, well then.
Yeah, I let the cops know all the time when I'm going to Branner Cemetery. I'm gonna tell you guys one more story about Branner Cemetery. I let the cops know all the time I'm going out there in case somebody calls. Well, one of the cops, I asked him, I said, do you want to come out there? He's like, absolutely not. I said, did you have something happen? He said, him and another officer, they got a call from dispatch that a passerby seen lights in the cemetery. So, of course, the cops got to go check it out. They get out of their squad car, and this cop says, he looked me dead in the eyes. He's like, I know what I saw. I know what he saw, and it was there, and it was real. Down at the one end, there's a woods by the cemetery, probably 50 yards from the edge of the cemetery. They said they each seen 5 soldiers walking along the edge of that woods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know the cop's not going to bullshit you,
Yeah.
Why would he make that up?
Yeah, and both of them said they'll never step foot on that. He says they can fire me before I'll step foot on that cemetery.
Wow.
And he says, you go out there by yourself. He says, you got bigger cojones than I do.
I don't think I could ever do a solo invest, especially someplace like a cemetery like that. I would just be so on edge. I would freak myself out so much that everything I heard would be like the worst ghost ever.
Cemeteries are peaceful to me. Any cemetery I've ever gone to, they're just peaceful to me.
In the daylight.
Yeah.
Daylight, nighttime, it don't matter to me.
You don't know what's like right in front of you in the dark. I can walk around the woods behind the cabin like during the day and be perfectly fine. Go out there at night, I'm a little more on edge because of being surrounded by darkness,
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And your mind starts playing tricks on you a little bit more.
Your mind and your eyes and your hearing and everything starts going goofy.
Ooh.
Teresa, it's like I heard everyone's dying to get in there. Cookville has a witches cemetery. Well, that would be interesting to investigate. A lot of interesting stuff out there. Man, may take a road trip out to Cookville.
Yeah.
Check out the witches cemetery.
We should all just do a week-long trip somewhere together. Just start hitting up all these places.
That would be incredible. I tell you what, I would definitely need to take a week off, 2 weeks off of work for the investigation and the recovery
A week for the
from
recovery.
the para hangover.
I was just going to say paranormal hangover.
Yes.
They are
Yeah.
real, people. They are
a
real.
thing.
Yes. My beard was black before I started investigating the paranormal. Now look at it.
Stop lying, Ryan.
Just a little exaggeration there. It was gray. So we got coming towards the end of the show here, man. Definitely appreciate you coming on and chatting with us tonight.
Anytime.
It was a lot of fun. I feel like we have a lot more that we
Yeah.
can.
I feel like I could ask
discuss.
about a million more questions about Wisconsin. We didn't
Man,
even get to that.
like,
Oh,
how's the
well,
cheese
if,
there? Is that
if
good?
you and Ryan want to bring me on sometime, I'll tell you guys some stories about all Wisconsin.
Ooh,
Every place I investigated up there, there's some stories about that place.
we haven't had a Wisconsin. We'll tell you what.
Do it.
Let's have you on, and we'll have you back on in January.
Okay.
We're booking January, so I'll send you a message, and we'll give you a date.
Sounds
To
like
come
a plan to me.
in January. Actually, you know what? We'll do it right now.
Okay. I ain't got nothing else to do.
We're just gonna January 2025. Let's have you on the 14th.
Okay, you'll have to remind me because I'll forget it by the time we get done with this live.
All right. Well, I'll make sure you know that you're going to become on the 14th. I will remind you, and we'll talk
Yeah,
haunted Wisconsin.
Yeah, because when you messaged me about this one, and I'm like, did I really set one up with him? I don't remember.
I remember that too. I'm like, did I? 'Cause it was during one of your lives, and I'm like, did I send you a message? I'm gonna write down the calendar so I won't think I was just dreaming when I.
It sucks to get old, Ryan. It does.
It really does, especially when you said something on like a random conversation during a live, and like 3 months later, like, did I send her a message? Or because you can't tell during a live because it gets disappeared once
Right.
you go away. Oh, I wore that down, and plus we have all the freaks that are watching us right now
Oh, absolutely.
to remind us that yes, on January 14th we are talking haunted Wisconsin, and we're gonna have to maybe have someone else to come on to talk about haunted Michigan, which I have family in Michigan, so I definitely want to talk about that. So, anywho, Travis, thank you so much for coming on and joining us tonight.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
And you have a great Halloween, Christmas, and Thanksgiving, and we'll see you after the new
Happy
year.
New Year.
You guys also. All right, Ryan and Rhonda, you all have a good night.
All right, you take care. I'll talk to you on the lives next time I see you on live. How about that?
All right, bud. Sounds good.
All right, brother. You take care.
You too. Bye.
Boy, that was an awesome conversation,
Yeah,
as
that was
per
cool.
usual.
Like, yeah, and I've got all these lists for like Tennessee.
Yeah. I kind of, I had no idea there's so many other places because the Bell Witch,
Yeah.
and that's probably the only one I really knew about Tennessee, honestly. Gotta thank some people for watching this show.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
wow.
Ooh, Tina Pritchard, Teresa Chalmers, Carissa. I mix Chris and Teresa. Chris Chappell, John Sullivan, Courtney Nicole, Jess Webb, Jeremy Lefevre, Howie Odell, Phil Payette, Angela Klein, and Carmen Rosa
And I saw
for coming
Lois,
on or listening
Lois
to the
Clark
show.
popped in too. So thank you, Lois, for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate you all coming in and joining the freaks tonight. Hope you guys enjoy National Pet Your Bird Day. Just don't do it in public, please, because
Or
Nobody
trust
wants
your
to do
intuition if you're going to do it to make sure you do it in the right location.
yes. You want to get in trouble. We have this will be on a Sunday night, actually, a special Sunday night show. We are We've got CJ coming on, CJ Momo Marie. They're going with her friend Daniel Friedman. He wrote a book about Jack the Ripper.
Yep. This is going to be a fun one.
Yes, it's a little bit out of our wheelhouse because this is more historical, show. But Jack the Ripper is such a fascinating topic that I think it'll be a fun conversation.
Yeah,
I mean, no, it'll be a fun conversation. And you guys have the Hill City Paranormal coming back for part 2.
We have Hill City Paranormal from Lynchburg, Virginia, coming back on for a part 2 because we had such a good time last weekend. We wanted to keep the conversation going.
Nice. So I did enjoy the show on Sunday. I'm looking forward to part 2. I will be on the What's Going Down podcast tomorrow with Howie Odell, live from the cabin on 360. That's going to be a lot of fun. And the next 2 weeks, we're going. It's all about sisters. The next 2 weeks of the show, because next week we've got the Ghost Sisters.
Woohoo!
Hell yeah! And then week after that, we've got the Connor Sisters.
Yay! And you know what's interesting about that? The week for the Connor Sisters, I will be in Salem, Massachusetts, and guess who I will have with me?
The Connor Sisters.
It's Kim Sage and
Heck
Candy
yeah.
Schultz. So
Nice.
I'm sure they'll be lingering in the background when we do it.
Man, that's gonna be a fun weekend, and looking forward to hearing all about it.
Yep.
And looking forward to talk to the freaks on Sunday night. A little special Sunday night show.
Join us, talk about Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
Right in time for Halloween.
Hell yeah. And then look forward to talking to the Ghost Sisters on September 24th. Freaks, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll be back here this Sunday night. Same freaking awesome time.
Same freaking awesome channel.
That's right. Have a good night, guys.
Night, everyone.
Bye.